Hello again, this is your friendly neighborhood host, JT Wheatley, back for another edition of the History Comics Podcast. This time with another edition of the classics with Batman Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth by Grant Morrison and Dave McKean. This is a classic trade paperback that came about during when trade paperbacks were really starting to blossom, released back in October of 1989, just in time for, of course, the release of the Batman movie by Tim Burton and starring Michael Keaton. It ended up becoming one of the most successful graphic novels of all time. We're reportedly selling up to 600,000 copies at one point. And to this day, it's still quite successful, one of the more popular Batman stories ever written. This is essentially an Elseworld story about where Arkham Asylum, of course, where many of Batman's more psychotic villains are sent to, have taken over and threatening to kill the hostages on one condition, though. If Batman turns himself in, they'll release him. Thus, Batman, being the hero, does just that. He ends up going on a crazy psychological journey that not only has him facing many of his classic villains, such as the Joker, Two-Face, Killer Croc, and so forth, but also discovering the origins of Arkham Asylum and just why that place doesn't really help those in turn. Grant Morrison really pushes interesting dimensions of the Batman, going to really diving into his psychology. While at the same time, Dave McKean's it's just psychedelic. You have to see it to believe it, but they do things that you just never seen before. It's just a great read through and through. And Grant Morrison would openly admit that he was inspired by Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, showing how he took Batman in a neat new direction. He goes, I want to do my own neat direction of Batman. And of course, Grant Morrison would return many times before to help revamp Batman, most notably helping create Damian Wayne, probably one of the best new Batman characters in recent years. Finally finishing up that Batman Son of the Demon thing. Yeah, but overall, this is a great read. A little different. It is jarring at first. I would not make this your first Batman book. This is a book that you kind of want to read to have read Batman for a little while and be familiar with all his characters before Grant Morrison deconstructs him. McKean's art really just takes you in some crazy places, but definitely worth a read. It was kind of an inspiration for the classic Batman Arkham Asylum video game, which probably going to get a classic episode itself one day if this show keeps going on, because those video games, especially Arkham City, is brilliant. And especially how they use the villains to kind of do examinations of Batman himself, like how what brings out Batman's aspects with every villain he faces, from the Joker to Scarecrow. But yeah, you're looking for something else, a classic Batman read, look no further than Batman Arkham Asylum, because that is a true classic. And now is August 6, 2020, time for the favorite comic book of the week. Strange Adventures, number 4, by Tom King and Mitch Gerads, which continues the mystery behind what really happened on Planet Ran with Adam Strange and his wife Alana, as Mr. Terrific goes there to try to search the records, only to find obstacles in every way, and has to, knock down a few of them. Meanwhile, there's another great flashback where Adam Strange found himself trapped on Earth for a little while, desperately trying to get back and reaching out to all the different DC heroes, only to be rejected at every turn. And kind of does explain why he's a bit hesitant to go back to the heroes, considering what happens to him. King does a great job balancing the more fantastic sci-fi elements with the more noir mystery going on, especially with Mr. Terrific, who is a fantastic character and detective, and quite frankly, should be the subject of Tom K. and Mitch Gerads' next great miniseries, because he's just a fun read to begin with. And I love how he plays up his fair play symbol on his jacket at one point. It's just a classic moment. And of course, Mitch Gerads' art is absolutely gorgeous. Once again, balancing the noir with the fantastic. He has that gritty feel when Mr. Terrific's trying to get to the bottom of the mystery, but also the great visuals of Ran, all the great epic space battles. So, yeah, great. This has been a great read from beginning to end. And it shows that the Tom King Mitch Gerads combo is perfection. They need to work together on practically everything if they can, because Mr. Miracle is already a classic, and like I said, I might have to read that one in a few years' time, as considering one of the classic editions. And this one looks to be well on its way as well. So yeah, best comic of the week, Strange Adventures, number 4. And that will be it for this week. Please, everyone, stay safe. Keep supporting your local comic book stores. And, of course, pick up Batman Arkham Asylum if you can, because that is a true classic.